Hello, my name is Cassandra Van Gelder, and this needs to get out. To New York State Assemblyman Will Barkley, Honorable Senate Patty Ritchie, Carl Hasty, New York State Speaker of the Assembly, Andrea Stewart Cousins, New York State Senate Majority Leader, and Honorable Kathy Hochul, Governor of New York State. I'm writing you concerning a century-old outdated law. It is very unfair. As it stands now, wrongful death cases are judged on the income of the person who is deceased. This means the minor or handicapped person who does not hold a job does not have value in the eyes of the law. If they are neglected or mistreated, which causes their death, then according to New York State, they have no value. This makes it difficult for court cases to get a lawyer willing to represent you, since the award would be very minimal and not cover the expenses of the investigation and trial expenses. The Wrongful Death Grieving Family Act, A6770, would help make this a fair outcome of wrongful death cases. Unfortunately, I'm aware of why this bill is desperately needed. On October 26, 2015, I had my firstborn child at the age of 18. Let's back up a few days, though, and get the whole story first. On October 23rd, I went in for my scheduled induction to have my handsome boy, Bryson. I figured it was going to be an easy vaginal delivery. That wasn't the case. Between the date of the 23rd and the 25th, I was given 3 Cytotec, strip membranes, Pitocin, and an epidural. It's after midnight, and the doctor finally comes in, and I'm ready to begin the process of pushing out my child. I'm in labor for a few hours. By 3:57 in the morning, on October 26, 2015, I had my firstborn son. The doctor didn't realize he wasn't crying, and the nurse called a code blue. No one was saying anything and taking my child out of my room and into the nursery. It wasn't for an hour that I didn't get told anything at all. I wasn't allowed to Sam or get out of bed for 2 hours. After I'm able to get out of bed a little after 6 in the morning, I can finally see my son. He has a nurse using a bag so he can breathe, because he can't breathe on his own. I'm told that he needs to get driven to Krause Hospital in Syracuse for better care. He was then put on a ventilator as soon as the people from Krause Hospital arrived. They had no hope that he was going to make it alive all the way there in the 2 hours. All day, I was not notified of my child while he was out of my sight. I asked the doctor if I could leave. He was hesitant, but I was very persistent in wanting to be with my child. He then said I could go at 6 at night. Here it is, 6 at night. He still isn't here, so I sat out of the hospital at 6:15 at night so I could be with my child. My mom and brother brought me at 11 at night. I am told my child has hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, lack of oxygen at birth. Bryson is hooked on a lot of things, and no one gave him the benefit of the doubt after 3 weeks he was there. They all said he wasn't going to make it. He was brought home on hospice. He was then signed off after 6 months. They saw life in him. Eventually, down the road, he was made to get a tracheostomy to help him breathe better. On January 29, 2019, my life changed forever. I wake up to my son's faulty O2 monitor beeping, and yes, before you ask, it was brought up numerous times of him needing a new one. However, low-class families get decent insurance, but I constantly had to fight with insurance for his needs. As I'm going to check my son's breathing, there is no heartbeat. I turn him over and begin CPR and yell to wake up my fiancé. I yell to make him call 911 and to get an ambulance stat. They are 20 minutes away, and I'm trying my hardest to keep on going for CPR. They eventually got to my home, and they helped me with CPR, and they hooked him up to a monitor to jolt his heart, and nothing is working. Someone carried out his body in the cold, wintry night into the ambulance. I'm not told anything besides get in the ambulance, and we go to Messina Hospital. We get to the hospital, and automatically I'm told that my son didn't make it. I ran to my boy and wrapped his arms around me. I don't want to let go of his body because I didn't want this to be real. I wanted it all to be a dream of some sort. I held my child for 4 hours that morning and then was made to let go due to them having to take his body away. My heart shattered into a million little pieces. No matter what, though, Bryson Reese Van Gelder will forever be in our hearts, always and forever. Upon learning these mistreats, we sought legal counsel for justice for my Bryson. Several lawyers said that we absolutely had a clear-cut case of neglect by physicians, but they were hesitant to take the case because of earnings, having no dependents, elderly, young, a baby, or single. Fortunately, we found a lawyer who was willing to spend the time and try to be able to get an award that would at least cover the expenses incurred by his firm. We told him we didn't care about getting 1 cent for ourselves, we just wanted justice for our son Bryson. This is when we learned the Grieving Family Act, A6770. This law needs to be changed so that when there is a wrongful death suit, the deceased life has a value equal to anyone regardless of what their income was. Bryson would have saved many lives, not to mention his extraordinary things we could have been able to do of learning to maybe one day walk, proving every doctor wrong, that he was not a vegetable and he could do things on his own. The lives changed when he was here, no matter if they were an adult or child. Someone learned something new every day because of the things he could accomplish that others said that he couldn't do. His life had value that was priceless. But in the court of law, he is only valued for his income at the time of death. Bryson was engaged and was improving every day with his therapies, no matter how hard it was. To all those who love and miss him every day, it is priceless. However, to New York State, he is worth nothing. I would like to ask for you to consider one of your own family members in the same situation as myself. How much would their life be worth in the court of law? Passing the Grieving Family Act, A6770, would give value to every single New Yorker, regardless of their income, at the time of their wrongful death. Thank you for your time and consideration. It is very much appreciated.